day, everyone. Capitalism, like language, like culture, evolves. And over the centuries, it has evolved from barter system to complex markets supported by banks, legal systems, and the global trade. It has played an undeniable role in generating wealth and improving lives around the world. But today we stand at a crossroad because while capitalism has succeeded in generating wealth, it has failed in sharing it fairly. It has driven growth, yes, but at the cost of deep inequality and environmental collapse. It has benefited shareholders, often at the expense of communities, workers, and the natural world. We believe it's time for a new form of capitalism, one that is still dynamic and entrepreneurial, but also just, regenerative, and inclusive. If capitalism is to remain our primary model of economic activity, it needs transformation. The system must be recalibrated to serve all its participants, not just the privileged few, and it must preserve the very resources it depends on. We are not alone in this thinking. Across the world, there is a growing recognition that we must move from shareholder capitalism to stakeholder capitalism. Concepts like the donut economy urge us to create a thriving society within planetary boundaries. But how do we move from theory to action? The 2000 film Paid Forward gives us a simple and yet powerful idea. If each of us does good intentionally, we create a ripple effect that transforms society. Inspired by this concept, our syndicate is proposing a bold, actionable model for change, a reform that legally embeds environmental, social, and governance, termed ESG, principle into the DNA of African businesses. We do this not by rejecting capitalism, but by evolving it. Modern capitalism, particularly in African context, is facing four interlinked challenges. One, structural inequality, where wealth is concentrated at the top while youth unemployment remains high. Two, environmental degradation, especially in resource extractive economies. Three, weak regulation, allowing corporations to operate without sufficient accountability. Four, short-termism, driven by the outdated idea that the sole purpose of business is to maximize profit. Milton Friedman's 1970 doctrine still shapes boardroom behavior across the globe, more promoting profit at any cost. And while ESG frameworks do exist, they are often voluntary, non-binding, and unenforced, treated more like a marketing tool than a business imperative. What we need now is not encouragement, but legislation, not optics, but obligation. We propose the creation and adoption of the ESG Mandate Act, a legislative reform requiring large corporations in Africa to embed ESG principles directly into their governing document. This act will compel companies to: one, define a legally binding purpose beyond profit, known in French law as their raison d'etre. Two, establish an independent ESG oversight committee that monitors performance and guides decision making. Three, report annually on their social and environmental impact alongside financial performance. Our model draws from the French Society à Mission framework, which allows companies to publicly declare their purpose and be evaluated by third parties. This approach shifts ESG from the realm of symbolism to substance, from the checkbox to core strategy. It transformed ESG into a business identity, not an afterthought. This is not just about policy, it's about mindset. The ESG Minded Act is a powerful opportunity to position African capitalism as a leader in sustainability, equity, and innovation. It helps us transition from a model that extracts to one that enriches. Let's move from profit first to people first, from statement to system, from sustainability as a slogan to sustainability as a structure. Thank you. I will now hand over to my colleague, Dorcas.
Good day. Today, I want to share how we can steer capitalism towards sustainability, not as a vision, but as a plan. A plan rooted in policy, partnership, and people. Our focus is clear: sustainability must become the foundation of our economic systems. And to make that happen, we begin with 3 pilot countries: South Africa, Kenya, and Nigeria. Why these countries? They are continental economic powerhouses, and they hold the potential to set the tone for a new kind of capitalism, one that is regenerative and inclusive. In these pilot nations, we will partner with development finance institutions, regional stock exchanges, and corporate law associations. Together, we will create a framework to institutionalize ESG in business practices and public policy. Our strategy stands on 3 pillars. One being capacity and awareness. We will develop a targeted training programs for business schools, law schools, and corporate boards. These programs will raise awareness and build future ESG leaders across in all sectors. Number 2 is localization of tools, where we will adapt Amundi's ESG assessment model to local context, creating benchmarks and audit tools that reflect the unique challenges and opportunities of each pilot country. The third one being the legal reform and incentives. We will advocate for changes in company laws, listing requirements, and procurement policies to hardwire ESG into the corporate DNA. This will include offering tax incentives, improved access to green capital markets, and favorable government procurement for compliant companies. This is not just an abstract exercise. We are building systems with clear, trackable indicators as well. Legal reform progress will be measured by percentage of national frameworks that embedded with ESG principles. Secondly, the operational success will be seen in improved Amundi ESG scores and hence compliance transparency. We will also measure the social impact, which will be tracked through metrics like gender equity, youth employment, and poverty alleviation. The fourth one being the environmental performance, which will focus on carbon emissions reduction and biodiversity recovery. And lastly, we will track governance, which will be measured through ethical leadership and stakeholder engagement. We aim to redefine ESG from a compliance obligation to a corporate identity. The ESG Mandate Act will transform African capitalism by aligning economic incentive with our deepest environment and social needs. It will enforce carbon tracking, promote inclusive hiring, introduce independent oversight, and fuel ESG-based skills development for our youth. This is our call. Let us move from profit first to purpose driven. Let us build an African capitalism that the world looks to for a sustainable leadership. Thank you. I'll now hand over to my colleague Colin Twala.
Thank you, Dorcas. We gather here at a critical moment, not just for our continent, but for the future of business and humanity. Climate change is not a distant threat. It is a defining challenge of our generation. And as Alan Job, former CEO of Unilever, once said, it will make COVID look like a Mickey Mouse. What we're witnessing now is only the tip of the iceberg. Amidst the urgency lies opportunity. We stand at a tipping point of a new kind of African capitalism, one that is redistributive, regenerative, inclusive, and aligned to our deepest values. So the question is, for whom are we doing this? And what impact will it have? For communities, it means cleaner environments, participative governance, and dignity. For the youth and entrepreneurs, it means new opportunities in renewable energy and ESG consulting. For governments, it means strategic alignment with SDGs and attracting long-term ESG investments. For corporates, it means innovation, global partnerships, and priceless asset and trust. And for stakeholders at every level, it means building systems that are not just profitable, but purposeful. This isn't just about sustainability, it's about resilience. And resilience begins with responsibility. As a collective of professionals from business, public sector, and civil society, we're not waiting for permission, we're already in motion. We're championing ESG legal reforms in our networks. We are implementing pilot initiatives in our organizations. We are building multi-sector coalitions to design legal blueprints. And we're creating ESG-focused startups and advisory firms that walk the talk. This proposal is not theoretical. It's actionable, measurable, and deeply personal. Because innovation is not just about doing new things, it's about stopping old things that no longer serve the future. Our simple ask is, let us move from statements to systems, from purpose as a poster to purpose as a principle of law. ESG must not be optional, it must be constitutional. We are proposing the ESG Mandate Act, a bold step towards that embeds environmental, social, and governance priorities into legal DNA of our institutions. This is our paid forward moment, not just to protect the planet, but to unlock prosperity, one that values people, planet, and profit equally. Because at the end of the day, brand do is better than brand say. And in this era we're entering, sustainability must be visible, not audible. Thank you. Let's lead this transformation together.